everyone, this is Kevin from thechesswebsite.com. Today we're going to be going over the 2-bishop endgame for white and how to checkmate the king. If you haven't studied this before, this would be a very good opportunity to learn different techniques, and even more so than just checkmating the king, just learn how the bishops can work together well when attacking. You can use this if there are more pieces on the board, but if you just have 2 bishops, we're going to go ahead and get into it and show you how to go about it. So first thing you want to do, now keep in mind as we go over this video, there are many different ways to checkmate the king, and no, I'm actually not going to be showing you the fastest way. I'm going to show you the easiest way. So if you can figure out how to do it a faster way and you want to do that, that's fine, but I'm going to go over what I think is the easiest way. So starts out, I like to centralize my king first, and then get the bishops nearby next to each other, and then I basically just like to push the king back and checkmate. So we'll see how that looks here. White moves first. White's just going to move up here, and black king is going to move as well, b5, really doesn't matter where he moves. And I'm going to go ahead and centralize my king here at d4. And black's king is going to go ahead and move back. And I'm going to go ahead and centralize my first bishop. Again, this is a key concept. Centralizing your bishops, activating your king nearby, and then pushing the king back. So black's going to go ahead and move, and I'm going to go ahead and activate this bishop here. As you can see, this bishop, this white bishop, is taking away this long diagonal on the A to H file, and so the black king is limited now to these green squares that I have highlighted. So he's going to have to go ahead and go that route. So you can already see the limited space that the black king has. So he's going to go ahead and move, and we're going to go ahead and move our white bishop here, and see where the black king goes. The black king could come to f6, and then we could go ahead and drop our bishop back, still limiting more moves that the black king can do. But black king is going to go ahead and move to f7, and we're going to go ahead and stick with what we've been doing, and that's moving the bishops next to each other, so limiting more squares. And as you'll see, key concept, when these 2 bishops are next to each other, the entire rank right above it, the king cannot come down. So this 6th rank here, the king cannot pass, and so we are really taking away squares that the king can go to, and we have not moved very much. So we're going to go ahead and continue. Black king has to move to one of those squares, and he moves. And now we really don't have any good moves for the bishop, so we're going to go ahead and start to activate our king a little bit more. And black king has to retreat, and we're going to go ahead and bring our king to a better position. And black king is forced to move back with this long diagonal, and he couldn't come here because of our king. And so now we are going to do our first check. We're going to go ahead and move our white bishop here. He can come back to f8, or he can move to d8. Those are his 2 moves. If he does decide to go d8, we'll take a look at that. Or if he moves to f8, it'll be more the same. We will move our bishop here, and he'll be confined to even less space. But if he does decide to move to d8, then we are going to simply do the same move as if we would gone to g8. We're going to go ahead and move our bishop to f6, and this limits the black king to 1 space. He can only move to this c8 square. Our bishops have cut off these moves, and again, he can't move this rank here because of our king. So black king has to move to c8 square. And now we're going to go ahead and move our king. We're going to go and activate him, use him a little bit more. And again, since we have this bishop on this diagonal, the king is again limited to only 1 space. So black king is going to move there, and we are going to continue our activation of our king. Now, the black king can move either place, A or C. Either way, he's going to have the same fate. So pretty much the same moves are going to happen. If he moves to A8, then we're going to a slow move. We're not going to put him in check yet, but we're going to go ahead and put our bishop here on F5, limiting to this B8 square, getting ready for a two-move checkmate. So black is forced to this B8 square, and now we can pretty much use both of our bishops. First move is going to be this E to E5 square, forcing him back to the A8 square. Now notice if we didn't put our light square bishop here earlier, then the black king could retreat back to this C8 square, but since he was nicely placed here, the black king is forced to retreat to this square, and then the light square bishop is going to come down and checkmate him. So that's obviously if he goes to the left to the D8 square. We're going to go ahead and take a look if black decides to move to the F8 square. And again, like I said before, we're going to go ahead and continue what we've been doing. We're going to bring up our bishop to the F6 square and block off the king's mobility. Black king now has two moves, or two spaces he can move to. Only one he can move to, but two available squares. And so he's going to be forced to go to the G8 square. And from here, we're going to go ahead and, like we've always done, we're going to activate our king, get him alongside the bishop. As you can recall from the very early moves, we actually had this same setup, and we've actually just moved this setup down the board, getting the king closer and closer to checkmate. So king only has one move because of the bishops. He's going to have to go back to F8, and when he moves back to F8, now we can start. We have a great position. We can go ahead and start getting our bishops in range, and you can go ahead and just conceptually think about what we're doing here. We're going to go ahead and move this bishop back. We eventually want them to checkmate him, much like we did along the A8 square. And this little subtle move, the black king still only has one place he can go, and that's the G8 square, so that's very important. And so he's going to move there, and our king is going to go ahead and take the place of that bishop. Again, we don't want this king to be able to move on this 7th rank, so we want to go ahead and take his place. Bishop is taking off this H7 square, and the king is taking the rest of these. Black can choose to go either F8 or H8, doesn't matter, the same fate will be brought upon him. We'll go ahead and look at F8 here, and now we're going to go ahead and bring this bishop into a better position. Go ahead and check the king. The black king has to move to the G8 square. And same move if he would have gone to H8. We would still bring this bishop here, and he would just go from H8 to G8. Same fate, like I said before. Black king's going to go ahead and move to G8, and now we're going to go ahead and get our other light square bishop into the action. So he's just going to drop back one, F5, and the black king is forced to go to H8. And we are going to go ahead and, like we did with the dark square bishop, we're going to go ahead and take the place of our light squared bishop with our king here. So again, he cannot move along this 7th rank, and the black king is forced to move along the 8th rank on the G8 square, his only move. So he's going to move to the G8 square, and then much like we had on the other side, it's a very easy win from here. White's going to go ahead and move his light square bishop check. Black is forced into the corner, and white can go ahead and come down with his dark square bishop and checkmate the king. So hopefully you all enjoy this video. Like I said before, there are very, very many ways to checkmate the king with two bishops. I feel like this is the easiest. If you do want some practice, you can actually check on my website. I have a few variations where you can go and actually practice playing against a computer with two bishops. And that website is www.thechesswebsite.com, and you can just click on Endgame, two bishops, and practice there. So hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely subscribe so you know when new videos are coming out. A lot more should be posted shortly, and have a good one.